I want to make sure that I save my project before I get too much further along. So I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to say this is my fantasy creature. Click Save. And now, again, I can continue working on shaping this. Now, I want to remind you that if you click on Invert on any of the tools, you can actually, instead of inflating, I can deflate. See, so I'm pushing it in rather than out. So that can be helpful, especially if you have some clay somewhere that you don't want. I want to remind you that when you use the grab tool and you pull, oops, I have global turned on, I'm going to turn that off. When you have the grab tool and you're trying to pull something out, if you start doing this and you start getting these really tiny little pointed things and then you start turning it inside out, this is called non-manifold geometry. This is not good. This will not 3D print. You can make a big mess here, but that's not going to 3D print. We want a nice smooth sculpture that's not too, doesn't have too many, like, we don't want it to be pointed. So as you continue working on this, I want you to really pay attention to that. I want you to be attentive to the fact that the non-manifold geometry is going to cause a big problem for you when it's time to 3D print. So your goal is to create something that is nice and clean. You can see I'm starting to form more legs here. And at some point I could use the grab tool and I could make sure the size is big. Notice how I'm really thinking about size here and like moving the whole thing. I'm going to stretch this whole leg outward like this. It's starting to look a little pointed, and so I don't want to grab too much more. I'm going to pull a little bit more from the body here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So you can see that I'm starting to get kind of leg shapes here. And then I can go up here, I can change the size, and I can push up rather than pull out to make the kind of the shape of the stomach. So now I've almost got sort of a tail going on here. So I could pull that a little bit. I could also inflate it just to give myself more clay to work with. Notice that I'm constantly changing my view. That's super important when you're working in Sculptris. I keep inflating. I'm just clicking and adding and adding and adding. And then I can use my grab tool. And again, I'm going to look at it from a different angle and pull. I can use my grab tool right here to push this in a little bit. So you can see I'm starting to create something here. I'm going to hit save again because I want to make sure I save it. It may ask you for another name. I'm actually just going to change it. I'm going to save it over my fantasy creature. Click replace. You can also save it as versions. So you could also do this. You could also hit save and you could say fantasy creature V2, meaning version 2.